Hello and welcome back to the channel, everyone. I hope that you all are well and you're having a nice time. So I'm back with another video, and in this one I'll run you through the team selection for FPL Game Week 14. We'll look at the probable options that I am going to bring into my side, and I'll talk about the transfers that I am currently intending to make, and the players that are on my watch list. And we will obviously talk about the points that I got in Game Week 13. As you can already see there were 44 points. Not a very bad score, but to be honest, it was obviously not a good one to get me the green arrow. So a little rank drop, but I think it was fine. The kind of disaster game week it was. I went with Haaland for the armband, and he returned me 14. Salah with 5. Obviously another guy who returned. Watkins with 5. Saka with 8. And then there was Areola with just 3 points. Ward-Prowse, Diaby, Martinelli, Schär, Cash, Tsimikas. All of them blanked. Lascelles was on my bench and he got 7. So this has been happening to me for a while now. And obviously, as you know, that one player on my bench has to return more points than my defenders or probably a midfielder. I've been playing 3-5-2 for a while now, so it is usually a defender who has more points than some of my midfielders and the defenders, obviously. To be honest, there was a lot to look at in this game week. We have now decided that a lot of managers would have decided now to either get rid of Cash, get rid of Ward-Prowse if you own. Diaby is another one that you must get rid of. Martinelli, I'd say I'd still hold on to him because of the good fixtures that are coming up, and we'll talk about that once we move to the planner, the DRAFTHOUND planner. Meanwhile, if you have not subscribed to the channel already, please do that and help me reach 1500 subs sooner. That is obviously the aim and the goal for now. Now, I'll take you to the DRAFTHOUND platform and we'll talk about the possible picks that I am going to bring in this week. Now, just to take you to the DRAFTHOUND planner. This currently, obviously, on your right hand side is my team, and this is obviously what I've got. We'll click this magic wand to optimize the team, and let's see what it does. Obviously, you can click on the link below and be redirected towards their platform, DRAFTHOUND's platform, and get all of this, all of the premium access by obviously signing up onto their website, and then you can get the planner. There is a special discount going on, so you can avail that too. Now, there is obviously the assistant manager, player rankings, fixture analysis, player comparisons, and predicted lineups. All of this has helped me obviously since the time I've wildcarded. I've been taking help from this. Obviously, the insights and all the expected points are a good, obviously predictor and a good way of analyzing of who to go for. And obviously, the fixtures are ranked, so the player rankings and the fixture analysis actually helps. Now, on your right side, obviously, you can see my team. Areola is in goal, and Tsimikas, Cash, and Schär take up the defense. If you look at the midfield, I've got Salah with the captaincy armband, who's got Fulham. And then obviously Saka, Martinelli with 2. Obviously, they've got 3 good fixtures coming up. I say 3 good fixtures coming up because Arsenal is in good form, and obviously they are hugely in good defensive form, but their attack is obviously, we know that they've got a good attack. And the teams they are playing against are those sides that are conceding goals. And obviously, as Diaby and Ward-Prowse, 2 players that I might want to get rid of in the upcoming game weeks. Diaby probably might go just this week, but we'll talk about that. Up front, Haaland and Watkins take their place. Haaland with the vice captaincy armband against Spurs. If you look at my bench, I've got Turner, Lascelles, Jamal Lascelles, obviously Archer, and Kabure. Kabure is injured, so in the longer run, I would have to get rid of him too. Obviously, we would have to look at some possible options, but as of now, I'm not going to waste a transfer on taking out a bench player. I'm not, usually, if I bring in someone, I won't even play him. So I think, yeah, he's all right as a bench filler. Now, to look at the possible transfer options and what I have in mind, obviously, one of the good picks for now in the midfield is Mbeumo. A lot of managers have gone for him. He did not score in the previous game, but 26.3% owned is not a joke. And his expected points are ranked at 17.8. He's got Luton at home, which is a good fixture. Then obviously he's got Brighton at away. Not the easiest of fixtures, but Brighton is conceding goals. And then obviously Sheffield United at away, which is another good fixture. So these are 3 good fixtures that you can target with Mbeumo. But what I had in mind was I wanted to go for Gordon, who has been providing those attacking returns and is a cheeky punt for the short term. So I wanted to go for him. And this season I have been focusing more on the short term punts, get returns from them and then obviously sell them for another one. These are obviously quick moves. You got to react quick, and you don't have to rely on the big assets to return. Which was a huge blow to me in the last season, where I had a good rank, and then I was trusting a lot on the huge assets and the big ones, and they were continuously blanking. Meanwhile, a lot of managers got benefit from the short-term pick. So this is what I'm currently focusing on this season. Now, the initial idea was to get rid of Ward-Prowse and Diaby, and the initial idea was to go for Gordon and Mbeumo. Now things have to change, and because Cash has been awful, and obviously the set of fixtures coming up for Cash after this Bournemouth game week, I don't want to hold him for the Bournemouth game week, to be honest. I have obviously money in the bank. As you can see, I've got 1.3 million in the bank, and I could go for Gabriel, or I could go for Saliba in defense, who obviously they have better fixtures and they can provide me those attacking returns more than Cash, because obviously Cash is an attacking wing back, but he has done absolute dash all. I don't want to curse, but yeah. So I'd say that still Saliba or Gabriel might have a little more chance of providing me those attacking returns. But we will be focusing on the clean sheet points from the Arsenal game, because we've seen Arsenal being defensively very solid, and we'll judge them in the Champions League game that they've got against Lens in the Champions League, obviously. Now, the initial idea with the 2 free transfers that I have, I rolled my free transfer. As you guys know, I didn't go for the pick, so I did not updated anything about that. But what I had in mind was to get rid of Cash and go for Saliba, who is obviously not a cheap option. He is kind of costly, but still I have money in the bank, so I can spread that somewhere else and go for these picks like Saliba and the other one that I had in mind was a little differential, but I have been eyeing him since his arrival. The set of fixtures is alright, but I think he has the capability to provide those attacking returns, and he has been providing those. So I could get rid of Diaby and just go for Kudus here. That way, obviously, this week I would have a double up of West Ham, which I do not purely like, but I'd just go with Ward-Prowse this week because they've got Crystal Palace and it is a home game, and Ward-Prowse is still on those set piece duties sometimes. So what I could do, I'd still play along with Ward-Prowse, and in the upcoming game week after 14, again game week 15, what I could do is get rid of him, go for Gordon, downgrade him. I would still have bank somewhere around 1.1 or 1.2, and I can spread that around somewhere else. I will be holding on to Martinelli, but the initial idea is to get in Saliba and Kudus for the week. These would be my two free transfers. Kudus obviously has a good game, Crystal Palace at home. The next fixture is a little bit tougher, but we've seen Spurs conceding. They are not a very rock-solid defensive side. So this is going to be, a 50-50 fixture, but Kudus could be the short-term punt that I am talking about, because I am focusing on the short-term punts now. You can look at Bernardo Silva. There is an option of Bernardo Silva. Sterling, I am not pretty sure about, because a lot of managers were considering Sterling. I'm not very sure about Sterling, but there is obviously, you can punt on Trent Alexander-Arnold. He did score a goal, but to be honest, the ones who saw the whole game actually know that he wasn't that good in that game. That goal was out of the world. I mean, that was a very cheeky finish. But to be honest, his overall game was not that good, and Liverpool are conceding goals. There are a lot of options to go for in the midfield. If you want to look at Liverpool side, I wouldn't recommend Trent Alexander-Arnold just because of his price, but there are a lot of options you can go for. And obviously there are the likes of Darwin Núñez. A lot of managers have him up front, so you can look at those picks. The set of fixtures for Liverpool is obviously very fascinating. So Darwin Núñez can be a good one if you want to look at him. But as of now, I'm pretty sold with Watkins and Haaland. Watkins, obviously, after the Bournemouth game week, I might look at other options. But as of now, I am set with Watkins in my side. I'd hold on to him for the Bournemouth fixture. And this is where you have to decide the form versus fixture. Watkins looks in a good form, but the fixtures, obviously, Manchester City and Arsenal are not easy fixture. So you got to decide between the form and the fixture. As of now, the form that Watkins is in, I'll favor the form and I'll keep him with Manchester City and Arsenal upcoming. So it will be obviously the form for me. If you look at the expected points for him, it is 5.5 versus Bournemouth, 4.8 versus Manchester City, and 4.7 versus Arsenal. So those are obviously not very fascinating numbers, but there are expected returns in that game. Obviously, we'll talk about the expected, but because we're not sure until the game has been done. Ward-Prowse is someone that I would be willing to take out ASAP from my side, because he has been blanking for a while now and he's not playing that position that we all expected him to play. He's on the set pieces, but there hasn't been much fruit out of that too. So he's playing more kind of a holding midfielder or a defensive midfielder role. So I would have to take him out at 6.2. I'd rather go for Gordon at 5.9 or whatever prices he is currently being offered at. So I'd go for Gordon. I'd keep the rest of the team as it is. Simicaz is going to be staying in. There are on and off good fixtures coming up for Newcastle side too. Everton, obviously Everton a good one. Spurs is going to be a difficult one. But after that, there are fixtures in interviews where I can target. Keeper A is going to be a little bit tough one, but I think I'm set with Areola. I mean, if he's not keeping a clean sheet, he's still returning 3 points. So that is, I think, all right as of now. Spurs is going to be a tough one. I can't even say that Fulham is going to be an easy one for West Ham because they are conceding goals. But as of now, I'm happy with the clean sheet points that, not the clean sheet points, with the save point that he is bringing in. I might just play Turner someday if I want to instead of Areola, but I think I'm sad. And a lot of managers already own him, already own Areola. So I'm not, willing to go for a goalkeeper. So my 2 free transfers for the week would obviously be Kudus coming in and Saliba coming in, replacing Cash, and obviously, Kudus is going to replace Diaby, who has been not in the best of forms. He is getting subbed out early. So I might just invest 0.1 million more in someone. 0.1 million less, obviously. He's 6.7, he's 6.6. Kudus is 6.6. I'd invest, that 0.1 million somewhere else in probably in my forwards or in the midfield. I'd look at that. But as of now, this is what my transfer move would be for this week. And then I'm moving ahead. I will go for Gordon. And then Darwin Núñez is the other player that is currently who I am eyeing. But 352 is going to be my setup for the week, and Salah with the armband. If you've got questions, definitely ask me. Let me know below if you've got any questions. What are your transfer plans? What are you deciding? Let me know all of that in the comments below. You can hit me up on Twitter. I am usually available there. Sometimes I am not due to work, but I am usually available there. So I'll try my best, give you my feedback on whatever your plans are. So I think this is currently it from my side. Thank you all for watching, and I wish you all green arrows for the week.